And Congressman, what have you heard on the ground?
Well, I had a field representative from Mayfield who was there last night. He's been on the ground all night giving me updates, and it's just much worse than you can ever describe on TV. The devastation is unbelievable. I know the press is focused so much on that candle factory, but it's completely wiped out a significant percentage of the city of Mayfield, as well as the little town of Dawson Springs in Hopkins County. There's extensive damage in Princeton, extensive damage in Marshall County, extensive damage in Central City area of Muhlenberg County.
And we're hearing, of course, the governor at his morning briefing at 5 a.m., the estimate was around 50, but he did mention at that time, and again mentioned just now when he just had his most recent briefing, 70 at least confirmed dead, likely more than 100. What numbers are you hearing? Where are a lot of these deaths occurring?
Well, they're occurring everywhere. Unfortunately, I've had death confirmations in 5 of my counties thus far, including Taylor County, which is Camelsville, which is significantly east of where Mayfield, Princeton, and those hardest hit areas are. So I think it's going to be another 24 hours till we get to the rural areas, get in some of these old farmhouses that were leveled last night. We're just the focus throughout the night and this morning has been in the densely populated areas of Mayfield and Dawson Springs and just outside of Princeton. But we've got damage reported in rural areas throughout Western Kentucky and in pockets of Central Kentucky.
And with this storm, it happened overnight. I mean, I know there was preparations, people were being warned, but do you think the fact that it did happen overnight contributed to the high death toll?
I'm sure it did. In Tompkinsville, Kentucky last night, tornado sirens were going off all night. So I know that in my hometown, there were warning signals, but I haven't heard definitely whether those signals were heard in the cities or not that were most adversely affected. But it's just hard to prepare. Tornadoes are sporadic, and you just don't expect to have a tornado in December. That's very unprecedented, and I don't know that there could have been a whole lot of advanced preparation for a storm attack like this.
And now you're heading there right now. What is your plan when you get there?
Well, I've been on the phone all morning with local first responders, local elected officials, and I don't want to be in the way. But at first they said, don't come down. We've got everything we need. Now there's panic among the residents because they don't have power, and the temperature is going to drop 30 degrees tonight. So FEMA is going to be rolling in, and I'm going to be there to make sure that everybody is working and coordinating. I don't want to see horror stories like what we hear happen during hurricanes in different parts of Louisiana and Florida and places like that. I know that every federal official that needs to be notified has been notified. Help is on the way. Help's already there. The National Guard's done a great job. State troopers did a great job. But I want to tell you, these first responders in these rural areas are second to none. They are all volunteer, and they're the most well trained of any first responders in any city in America. And these are their friends and neighbors, and they've not stopped working since midnight last night. And then you've got it being a farm area, a lot of farm equipment's down there. These farmers were calling me, texting me. They were driving their farm equipment there before the sun came up to help try to lift debris off people. So it's just a story of a community coming together to help their neighbors. And that's what we're having right now. But I want to make sure that the local officials don't have trouble navigating through the federal bureaucracy. So that's why I'm going to be there.
And now what conversations have you spoken to Leader McConnell? Have you spoken to Senator Paul, the other congressmen from most of Kentucky got hit by this?
Yeah.
What is going on at the congressional level?
Yeah, I've spoken to Senator McConnell. John Yarmouth texted this morning. Andy Barr, Massey, and Brett Guthrie and I have all communicated via text. The White House has called. In fact, they told me the president was going to call, so I'm on the lookout for an unknown number that's supposed to pop up on my phone from President Biden. So every Anybody who needs to be contacted has been contacted. It's just a matter of now of rescue and recovery, as well as getting the power back on. Again, it's going to drop 30 degrees tonight. A lot of elderly people are very concerned right now because of the heat situation. So hopefully we can get the electricity turned back on as soon as possible.
And the time is ticking also for people with medical devices. I'm sure generators got scooped up immediately.
Mhm.
Is there any work to get generators to people that need them? Is there a place that I should be pointing people to potentially call to have someone pick them up to transport them if they're elderly and don't have access to cars, to make sure that they have charging devices for whatever medical devices they need?
Right. Now, I think that the Red Cross is there. You got Paducah, the nearest city, if you will. Uh, the big employers and retail owners have reached out wanting to help with generators, with equipment, with temporary residences. I mean, it's a community coming together, and it's a very tight knit community in West Kentucky, and you're just seeing the best of the best when a tragedy like this happens. You see the community come together, and it's not about politics; it's about helping your neighbor, and that's what's going on as we speak right now.
And what should people not be doing right now? I'm sure people
Yeah.
should avoid that area.
Avoid the area. Like I said, I offered to come early this morning, and they said, no, we don't need anybody down there now. They're like, please come down here because we've got all these federal people down it. So I'll be there very shortly. And but you know, it's we've got people on the scenes down here, and they're doing a tremendous job. There have been so many people rescued from that candle factory, and when they first got there, no one would have predicted anyone would have survived that. And they pulled a lot of people out of there alive this morning. So there's some really heroic stories in amidst all this tragedy right now.